Hi guys, Scott here from Outlaw Garage. Today we have an air-cooled festival. Here we have a 356 and a double door VW split screen bus, so let's get on it. So April 62, original Swiss car.
Yeah.
How did you get it?
It's weird. I was over in Adelaide and I went to a car show and I saw a blue 356 and I thought, wow, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I got on eBay that night and there was a red 356 over in Sydney, this one, going for sale. So I actually, it was going for sale for a certain amount. It had met its reserve. So I offered the guy above what it was on eBay. And he said, no, I'd like to see the auction go out, so I'll run its course. So it ran its course and I ended up bidding and getting it for less than I'd offered him for it. So, and fair play for me, honoured that price, he took the risk. So yeah, so then I went across to Sydney and picked it up, and yeah, I was very pleased.
So how long you had it?
About 8 years now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't look like 8 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, it has a bit of a restoration. So we found that there was a few bubbles in the paintwork.
Okay,
so
we will just pop the hood down a sec because I was going to cover something else, but we'll pop the hood.
That's alright.
Does that latch? Am I not pushing
that
up further enough? There we go.
There we go. So yeah, there's a few bubbles here.
Yeah.
And a few kind of little bubbles on the side. So it looked exactly like this, except it was kind of bubbling. So I thought, oh, it might be a bit of rust or whatever. But it turns out when they started peeling this bit, the paint just started coming off, and there was all bog underneath. So what had actually happened is they'd not let the bog dry. So so that's why it was.
The moisture was underneath there.
So yeah, we got down to here and it was like, you know, about that thick of bog. And there wasn't any rust. It was just I have no idea why they put so much bog in it, just to make it look right, I guess.
I wonder if they'd had a bit of a dent on it at some point.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even really dented. So I mean, it was weird. So anyway, so it was completely stripped back. I actually got
the whole car stripped back then.
Whole car stripped back. Oof. I actually got a new front end from Porsche in Germany.
Okay.
So that's not a cheap piece of metal.
No.
So the front, and yeah, they kind of, you know, they've kind of put it in and yeah, fixed it all up. So I'm really pleased with how it went.
And how long ago did you have the paint done?
Probably about a year and a half, something like that.
Because I was going to say, it looks really fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a special order colour back then as well, signal red. So ruby red was the colour that they normally did, but this was signal red. Yeah,
I might look up that colour just on the internet and just put an extra picture up so you can kind of tell the difference, because the signal red is that's beautiful, and especially how it curves around the back of the car. We'll have a look around in a moment, but that looks really good. Who painted it for you?
It's a workshop over in Adelaide.
Yeah, okay.
They normally do kind of custom cars, hot rods.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
So yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, she's brilliant. 1600.
Yeah, it's original Super 90.
Yeah,
it's original Super 90. It's not matching numbers. Doesn't have the original engine, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I have managed to source an engine that's in bits in the garage that's only a few numbers off what my original Super 90 engine was.
Yep. Okay.
So I have got an original Super 90 engine. It's just in pieces in the garage at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
But that one goes along really well. So I'm not planning on doing anything, changing that anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I got the car decks on this, and I got the car decks on the engine. The engine's actually from a 1960 Cabriolet.
Okay.
And that spent its life in the US, so I don't quite know how they met. They've got a Swiss story, a US engine story, and an Australian car story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how they met at one point. I don't know whether this came to Australia via the US. Maybe it did, because the original owner was a guy called Melvin Fishman. So he was a Hollywood producer that went across to Switzerland to make a film Steppenwolf in the early 70s.
Yep.
And he was kind of into psychedelic drug taking, expanding the mind, and that's what Steppenwolf, the whole film is kind of very weird and like that. Jungiism or something it is. So I don't know whether it went, because he died in about 71, 72. and so maybe it got shipped back to the US then to his family. I'm not sure.
Might have stayed there for a little while.
Maybe, but I wrote to the Swiss. So when I first got the car, I wrote to the Swiss kind of driving authority, and they sent me a letter telling me, you know, who'd owned the car and how long they'd owned it for, and
that's really nice of them.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, well, they charge you for it. You have to pay €100. Yeah, so not particularly, you know, but it's great that you could find that. Actually, it's got a special number stamped into the engine bay that was only on Swiss cars, called a mag love number or something.
Oh, right.
So you can actually AMAG it is actually. So you can they keep records of all the cars as well, because they were the main importer into Switzerland, but unfortunately the records in '62 are no longer around, so I couldn't find those ones.
No, that's really cool history with the car, and we will put some links in around the previous owner and bits and bobs of that. But that is, as soon as I pulled in the driveway, that red is epic.
Yeah, it definitely pops.
Yeah, and then with the black interior, and the chrome's in really good nick as well.
Well, I've got a friend that says I should be polishing that chrome up a bit more, but I like to keep it a little bit. I don't like to overdo it, so I like to keep it a bit as original as I can. So right, you'll see around the frames and the window frames, I haven't kind of polished it.
A little bit of pitting. It gets a little bit of pitting.
There's a lot of pitting, and I don't mind that. It's an old car, right? So yeah.
Well, as long as the body's in solid condition.
Yeah.
And
like
that looks like factory fresh.
Yeah, it's they did a really good job. I'm really happy with it.
Like all bees, drums all the way round, but I bet they perform okay for the size of the engine and how the car kind of trots along. I'd imagine the brakes are fine.
Oh well, I do have a story. So it's all one cylinder. It's all one master cylinder, right? So I have bought another that's a dual cylinder, and the reason why is because I put my foot down, coming up to a red traffic light, and nothing happened at all.
Oh, you're joking!
And just absolutely sailed through. So I was like so lucky that nothing was coming, but it was so my back brake line had just worn against the chassis or the suspension.
Yeah.
So it worn. And it just eventually just leaked out brake
fluid. And you
fluid.
didn't feel any kind of.
It felt like I just before I had to pump it, I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. But then it just must have just completely leaked out. So
I got to say, ironically. We checked our brake fluid yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, I don't know, and I've kind of overfilled it, so that I'll have to empty a little bit out. But it's, you know, checking oil and probably checking brake fluid on these is the way to go. But I guess very similar to ours. You can just turn the wheel, and on the passenger side, you can see the brake fluid level, and then if you want to fill it up, it's easier from the inside. But I spent some time rolling around on the floor trying to fill it up yesterday. Yeah,
they're a pain to fill up. I've had to have a funnel that goes kind of like this. But it's it was a bit scary. And then I just saw the trail of brake fluid down the road. And I thought, oh, that's why. But I've replaced all the brake lines now. You can get them from the US, and they come now with like a plastic sheath around the metal as well,
a bit of braiding or something.
Yeah, to protect them. So fingers crossed that won't be happening again.
Funny you say that, because yesterday we were like, we are checking ours just in case.
Well, I'd just been on a 356 run, so like all the 356 guys were all we're in a convoy, so I didn't really want to stop, and we're going down to Seaworks for the big Porsche gathering, like the 70th. Yep. So I never made that gathering. I got about 2 kilometres away and never made it, unfortunately. But so I was on the back of a truck coming home.
Yeah, so we were just saying we had a little bit of a fuel leak on the inside.
Yeah, so I went down to the historics down on Phillip Island, and I thought I'd be, because you can turn the fuel off, right, in the cab. So I thought I was staying in a hotel. I thought, or a guest house, whatever. So I'll be extra safe and turn the fuel off. What I actually did, because it was a faulty petcock, and it just actually leaked fuel all onto the chassis and all into the car. So the next morning I arrived, I thought, oh, it smells a bit of petrol around it. Open the door, and it's about that much petrol actually in the car. So I went to a pet shop, I got cat litter, I got everything to try and soak this up, and threw the carpets out. Had to drive back, and like pretty much with my head out of the window.
Oh yeah, the fumes would have been.
It's dangerous, really. So yeah, I've eventually got the smell out and replaced all the carpets. So yeah, that was a cost, and got the petcock sorted as well. There can't be many this colour, with it being a special order colour either. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. You don't see too many. I mean, a lot of, you see quite a lot of silvers. There's silver, obviously a very popular colour. I like them in silver. They look a bit like, especially the early ones, look a bit like a flying saucer. The silver ones, because of the shape. I
did see an orange one floating around yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think they ever.
See?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think they ever did. Well, that
must have been painted a little bit later. But it was like it was almost like the tangerine 911 kind of colour. Yeah, it was.
It definitely suits the 70s Porsches, I think. Those citrus is like the lime green and yellow. Yeah, and
those
orange,
like
kind of cool.
Yeah,
or the 911.
Yeah, definitely like the 70s.
Yeah, this is more of an Italian colour, I guess, but I guess it's all right.
You could almost say it's kind of Ferrari reddish, couldn't you? But it's that is like bright and deep. So here we go, 6-volt engine as well, looking very clean, nice and tidy there. Yeah. But 6 volts. I'm surprised you've not changed it to 12, just because of the pain that it can be starting. 6-volt batteries tend to be a bit more expensive and a pain to kind of get, don't they?
There's I forget what it's called, but it's a pretty good battery that you can get for them. So I've got that. So that's and it's not liquid inside.
Yeah.
So it doesn't leak inside the front there.
Yep.
But yeah, they can be a pain to start. Lights can be a problem. So I've got LEDs in the backlights so that people can see the brake lights.
Yeah, because you don't get the same brightness, do you?
Not with a 6-volt. So yeah, that was definitely a problem because I was.
That's a good safety upgrade, putting the LEDs on the rear.
And they look they look completely original. It's just the insides. There's a special kit you can get from the US, and so yeah, I was especially in bright sunlight. People can't see the brake lights, so now you can see them. And I'm thinking about getting a lot of people put like LED strip here in the grille,
okay.
so it's a bit higher up because people aren't used to looking down because they're quite low cars.
Yeah, and I do find like people you get a lot of attention. People are on their phone trying to take pictures of you, not paying attention to your brake lights, and the last thing you want is for somebody to rear end you as they're taking their nice Instagram picture. Yeah,
I have to be
bless them.
I have to be aware of cars behind me as well as in front of me when I'm driving this, for sure. Yeah. So
here we have a culprit of a previous related. Now I am a little bit picky about this because my wife's like, every time the car stops it's a breakdown. However, I think there needs to be some classification on that. And in my opinion,
it's human error.
It is. It's not a breakdown, and it's definitely not the car's fault. So you left this accidentally in the car.
Yeah, I was going on a run, and with some of my friends or whatever, they also have kind of later model Porsches. So mine's like the old Beetle that tries to keep up with them, kind of. So and I'd left it in there. I'd left the screwdriver in the engine bay, and the first I knew of the car, I heard a bang, and then there's a bit of smoke, and then the engine was really started revving. I was like, oh, I don't understand. So anyway, the fan belt had gone, so I took out the fan belt and then went behind the shroud and actually locked the accelerator in place. So I was like, well, I can't go on because I could probably limp on without the fan going around, so it won't overheat, but I can't go on when it's really revving. So another trip back on a truck. So and I didn't find the screwdriver until afterwards when I got home, and I was like, oh, that's why it's revving.
Yeah, because that's a massive chunk out of that screwdriver. But I think that's not a breakdown.
No, well, it was easily fixed, right? I just got a new fan belt, and so I could have done it at the side of the road if I'd been carrying a spare fan belt, which I do now.
So, wheels are not original, however, an amazing Gumtree find.
Well, they are now.
They are now.
So, well, it originally came with kind of wider chrome wheels. I think were VW wheels, and they looked all right. They had white wall tires, and yeah, I managed to find, like, just completely randomly looking for. I think they're Lemertz wheels, these ones. So the car is April 62, and all the wheels on this now are date stamped April 62. So I managed to find the exact month, full set of wheels.
An amazing Gumtree find.
Yeah. 5 wheels as well.
Oh, you got the 5?
I've got I got these spare as well. So and I'd gone from the sons of the guy that used to run the Adelaide Porsche distributor. Yeah. So it's just one set of, and they actually had a really nice Nardi steering wheel which they wouldn't part with.
Nice.
So but yeah, they sold me the wheels, and they were fairly cheap as well, really. And I didn't need to redo them. They were all totally fine.
Literally just bolt on,
just put
ready to go.
On. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and they would have been proud to see them go to a matching car as well. Yeah, that's all great. Here we go underneath the front. This is a BT6, so a little bit different to ours. You might have seen in the video earlier we had the bonnet of ours open, and it wasn't because we've broken down again, but it was just so that we could show the difference. So the big fuel tank on this one, left-hand drive car with the fuel filler on the outside as well, which is a little bit different to ours with the interior one, but I think that's the slow kind of progression to the 912 911s with the evolution of the car. You can see the history and the lineage of the cars kind of coming together, can't you?
Yeah, well, the 912 and 911s had the the side wing flap, I guess, or fender flap, depends where you were.
Yeah. And then on ours we converted ours to the bullets at the front and the grills, and then this one's got the original ones there. A very stock and original car. Amazing, really. Like, lovely. Quality of the car is brilliant. The old fuse box. Any issues? That feels like
no, it needs a bit of a clean, but I have cleaned it up. I've kind of because with its 6 volts, if you don't have a good earth or whatever, then it's crap. You're gonna have problems. So but yeah, at some stage it's probably gonna need somebody professional to have a look at it and kind of do a bit of a wiring job, but it's fine at the moment. So
what I have liked about the 911s is that you can get replacement kits now for the fuse boxes, and there'll be blades. If your fuse goes, a little LED goes off on it, and I think that would be a nice little safety upgrade if they made them for 356s. Obviously, if you want to keep it absolutely stock and original, but again, a little bit like your brakes, I guess there are the safety upgrades that might be worth doing over a period of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to make sure that you don't pop off anything or things like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's my
what's that?
This is my navigation system.
Is it?
Well, I don't smoke cigars, so that's my cigar holder, and then I put it there. It's a perfect GPS.
Eat your heart out. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So we're inside the 356. Brilliant new carpets. We will put a link in the description below for the guys who did the carpets, because they are, as soon as you open the door, you can tell the quality of them straight away. Like, they're brilliant. Obviously, you would have probably preferred not to do them. However, when the guys have done them, they've done a brilliant job.
Done a really good job.
Interior is lovely, like with the painted dash. obviously Porsche were well ahead of their time, creating the opportunity for people to put elastic bands and phones on there as well. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Seats and everything were done when you got the car.
Yeah, because I don't think they had leather seats, and these are leather, so they must have been done at some point. Because the backs are not leather, so I think just the front one's got a bit of an upgrade.
Yeah. They're probably just worn over time, like
yeah,
the back ones don't get the same wear, do they? And then the front ones normally get a little bit extra. How'd you find the shifter?
Oh yeah, it's really
and
good.
I always ask this question,
yeah.
Mainly because mine was a complete pain.
Yeah.
But yours looks like it's short, tight, and all the linkage is pretty good there.
Yeah, well, the guy that does my car, Dave Brennan at Nürburgring, he's really good. So he actually, Greg O'Keefe got him the part to do the linkage of the back, and that all shifts really well.
We know Greg.
Yeah, Greg's
he's an old hat round here, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then the guys at the Nürburgring, their names come up a few times in our videos.
Yeah, well, it's Dave Brennan. He's a kind of one-man band, so he goes around in his mobile Porsche Cayenne and does all the does everything. So he can replace, he can do everything pretty much.
Yeah,
replaces transmissions on your driveway. He can do all sorts of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has. His
just turns up, does some work, and then kind of goes away.
Yeah, very good.
You don't have to be very astute to also notice the bus in the background. A true air-cooled head.
Yeah, but I've got a few combos as well. So yeah, this is split screen 66.
Yeah.
66, 67. It's a bit debatable. There's it's stamped 66, but I think it was registered 67. And yeah, it's so this is a term that people get wrong a lot. So this is a double door.
Yeah.
It's not a double barn door, right?
No.
So people say barn doors, people say double barn doors, people say, but a double door is doors on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So there's actually 4 doors, but it's a double door.
So we have one of those in our garage that we saved from Marble Bar like years ago. It was a chicken shed.
Yeah.
That's slowly getting restored over in Fremantle.
Yeah.
But this is the first one I've seen in a long time, because they are particularly rare, but then of course you talk about it and then the universe brings you together and you see one there.
Yeah.
What we might do is we might just open up both sides of the car, because then we can clear up the whole barn door, double door, what have you got on the car.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a matching numbers engine on a VW bus. Not seen very often.
It's got a generator on there instead of the an alternator on there now instead of the old generator.
Yeah, because she did start really well.
Yeah, so that might be why it starts really
extra bit of power.
Yeah.
So okay, we're having a quick beer. It's a boiling hot day here in Melbourne. Nobody ever told me that the weather would get like this. So we'll look at the double door. So this is the first side of a double door.
Yes.
Not a barn door.
Yes, not a barn door. The barn door ones are the ones at the back, right?
Yeah.
So they're very early combis that had effectively a big barn door at the back that opens up.
Not a barn door on the side.
No, exactly. So
this one, there we go.
Yeah.
Belly pans underneath these, because obviously by the time you open the other side of the door, there's not a lot of strength left in the bus except the floor and the roof.
Yeah, so there's different. So there's you can get a spec sheet, the original build sheet, and I've got that. And there's ones in there that even VW don't know what they are. So so on the birth certificate it says unknown what this optional. It was an optional extra.
Yeah.
Like these vents are different depending on what country you're in. So they can be different. So I think they're hot weather vents.
Because I've got a feeling mine are low.
Yeah.
Not up high like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference.
So let's have a look at that. Yeah, because that's a double set of vents.
Yeah, so I think you've got different options around that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that when we were looking at the bus, because I'm sure mine are down low, like on a standard splitter.
Yeah.
I think. Dynamat keeps the car nice and cool and stops the drumming.
Yeah, well, if you listen to very tinny that on the roof. If you do that on this, it's completely different. And it keeps, there's so much engine noise cut out by having that.
Yeah, because the engine is only just behind there.
Yeah.
And these are pretty open, so they tend to make themselves good for, you know, either hauling stuff around if you want to use one for a work truck, or if you nowadays if you want to turn one into a bit of a camper, that's not a bad way to go with a double door.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a bar, having a big surfboard going all the way through, and you could have seats here, and
and it just pushes in, and you fold away and drive
exactly.
up.
It's perfect for a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shall I go on up?
Yeah. Let's open the other side.
Boom.
And there we go. All the way through a split screen bus. And that is a double door combi. Perfect for, if you, like you said, if you've got the bar, and we've still got the beer.
Just a very long surfboard. So
because if it slides out, like you could slide it in.
Some umbrellas at the end.
Yeah. And you just turn up, you've got plenty of room to stack a couple of cartons of beer or a couple of barrels.
This could be the VIP section. You could put a little sofa in there. Yeah.
I could imagine, you know, Snoop Dogg turns up and sits in the back with the curtain.
I need to put the red velvet in before he arrives.
You said the bus was already painted this colour before you got it. Yeah. Someone spent some money on the paint, because that's not like your bog standard colour.
Yeah, no, it's been done well.
There it is. Yeah, a very rare bus. So thank you very much, Carl, for the invite today. Absolutely brilliant. We've got the 356 behind us and the double door bus. Brilliant afternoon. So thank you very much, and thanks very much for the 2 cold beers as well, because that really helped me get through the day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you later, guys, with something new. See you later. Bye.